Get excited because today we are making cupcakes. So in my meatball video, my friend Crystal requested that I make these tiramisu cupcakes, so I thought it would be the perfect opportunity to try this. This is the Swerve Sweets vanilla cake mix. It's low carb, keto friendly, and I've actually never tried it before. So not only am I going to show you how to fancy up a box cake mix, but make sure you watch this video to the end because I'm going to give you my honest first impression of it. I'll tell you how it bakes, how it tastes, the texture, if it has an aftertaste, the whole bit. So be sure to stay tuned for that. Also, if you enjoyed this video, please be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, as your engagement is really what's going to help this channel grow. Let's make some cupcakes. We're going to start by making our cupcake base, and we're just going to follow the package instructions. So in this bowl I have 3 large eggs, and to it I'm going to add 1/3 cup of water and 1/3 cup of avocado oil, along with a tablespoon of vanilla extract. Then we'll just whisk it together really well and add in our cake mix. We'll then just give everything a good mix to make sure it is well incorporated. You'll see here I ended up switching to a whisk just to make sure there were no lumps. Add your cupcake liners to your pan, and using a cookie scoop or a measuring cup, divide the batter evenly for 12 cupcakes. Bake the cupcakes at 350 for 15 to 20 minutes and let them cool completely. Alright, now time to make our icing. So I'm just pouring 1 cup of heavy whipping cream into my stand mixer, and we're just going to whip it until it is soft and fluffy. And when you realize you put on the wrong attachment, attach the right one and continue to whip. Transfer your cream into a separate bowl and set it in the fridge. Into the stand mixer, you'll want to add 8 ounces of mascarpone cheese. You can substitute this for cream cheese, but note that if you are going to use the mascarpone, you must use it cold. You don't want it to set out too long, otherwise the texture is not going to be the same. You'll whip the cheese for a few seconds and then add 1/2 to 3/4 of a cup of Swerve confectioner's sweetener. Whip them together for another few seconds until smooth. Add in a teaspoon of your espresso powder and whip it all together until well incorporated. Add 1/3 of the whipped cream and fold everything together until you have one smooth mixture. Add in the rest of the whipped cream and do the same thing, just folding the mixture together until it is smooth and well incorporated. You should have a smooth and beautifully fluffy icing. Put your icing in a bowl and set it in the fridge. It's important to keep this mixture cold until we're ready to use it. Alright, now for the fun part. We're going to take a cupcake, and using a toothpick we're going to poke a bunch of holes into the cupcake. So we're going to go about halfway through, being careful not to get too close to the edges. Take about 1/2 cup of water and mix in 2.5 tablespoons of your espresso powder. I ended up making a double batch here, which ended up being unnecessary, so you can just stick with 1/2 cup. Gently brush or spoon the espresso over the cupcake, allowing it to soak in for a few seconds and repeating that same process a couple of times. We're not wanting to get the cupcake soggy, but we do want to add a good amount of that espresso flavor. Once our cupcakes have been showered in all of that delicious coffee, we can go ahead and ice them. I've put my icing in a piping bag, but you can honestly just take a Ziploc bag and snip the end off and it'll work just as well. Clearly you can see here that I am not a professional at icing cupcakes, but as long as it tastes good, who really cares, right? Garnish your tiramisu cupcakes with shaved chocolate and cocoa powder and admire their beauty. Can you guys tell I'm excited about this? All right, so I got all the pictures I needed and now I'm ready to finally taste these. I think they came out really beautiful, actually. I was pleasantly surprised. They seemed to bake up really well. They did brown a little bit more than I think regular cupcakes probably would have, but I still think they look beautiful. So I'm gonna go ahead and peel off the paper. So they're not peeling off as cleanly as I think probably a traditional cupcake would. It's still holding together pretty well, even despite the fact that we, brushed the espresso in there. So I don't know if you can see, but that's kind of what the texture looks like. All right, cheers. I'm actually pleasantly surprised. That's really good. I'd say the texture is probably more like a muffin. The crumb is not quite as fine as a traditional cupcake would be, but it's still soft and quite moist. To be honest, I don't really taste that signature erythritol aftertaste. It has that kind of like cooling effect. I don't get that from these, which is actually really cool. I'm pleasantly surprised by that. And maybe that has to do with the espresso in there and some of the other strong flavors, but I'd say it's pretty good. I think my husband will like them too. All right, guys, that's about it for today. If you're interested in living a low-carb lifestyle, please check out some of my other videos. I have a lot of great recipes. I'm always coming out with new ones, so definitely give those a look. I'm gonna go enjoy this. See you guys in the next one.